All right, let's jump right in. We're talking about a tool that is seriously shaking up how we build for the web. It's called v0. It comes from the brilliant folks over at Vercel, and, well, it's basically an AI that can build your website's front end right in front of you.
But before we get into the how, let's talk about the why. You ever just stop and wonder, with all the amazing tech we have, why is building a truly polished, beautiful web app still so incredibly difficult? It's a question that keeps developers and businesses up at night.
And this right here, this visualizes the problem perfectly. You've got users who expect nothing less than perfection, fast, beautiful, intuitive apps. And then you have the reality of business, tight deadlines, limited budgets, not enough people. It all gets squeezed into this massive bottleneck where the traditional way of building things just can't keep up anymore.
So how do we break out of that? This is where it gets really, really cool. Vercel has introduced something that isn't just a tool. It's more like a new kind of partner for developers. Let's meet v0.
So what is it? Simply put, v0 is a generative UI tool. That's a fancy way of saying you can describe what you want in plain English, or even just show it a picture of a mockup, and it spits out clean, production-ready code. And I mean production-ready. This isn't just for playing around.
I love how the team behind v0 describes it. They say it's like having a pair programmer who works 24/7. And that's exactly what it feels like. You know, imagine having an expert coder right there with you, turning your ideas into reality in seconds, no matter if it's 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. That's the kind of power we're talking about. Now let's peek under the hood, because this is really important. By default, it generates code using a super modern stack that developers love: React, Tailwind CSS, and the fantastic shadcn/UI component library. But, and this is the kicker, it's not a one-trick pony. You can ask it for Vue code, Svelte, or even just good old-fashioned HTML and CSS. It can even work with things like Framer Motion for animations. It's incredibly flexible. Okay, so we know what it is, we know what it's built with, but how does it actually work? You know, what's it like to go from just an idea in your head to a finished product? The workflow is honestly kind of magical. Step 1, you just describe what you need. Something like, make me a pricing page with 3 tiers. Step 2, boom, the AI generates a live interactive preview right there on your screen. Step 3, if you like it, you just grab the code. And step 4, you can tweak it, ask the AI to make changes, or just drop it right into your project and deploy. It's that fast. And when you put the old way of doing things side by side with the v0 way, wow, it's night and day. You go from writing these long design documents just writing a simple prompt. You go from hours of manual coding to instant AI generation. Instead of endless back and forth revisions, you get to iterate in real time. We're literally trading weeks of work for minutes. So, the tech is obviously incredible for developers, but let's talk about what really matters for a company, the business case. What's the impact on the bottom line? For any business, the benefits are just huge. You can prototype and build MVPs at lightning speed to test out new ideas. You can finally fix that broken workflow between your designers and developers. You can build internal tools super efficiently without pulling your best engineers off of core products. And it helps keep your look and feel consistent across everything you build. It all adds up to one massive thing, saving a ton of time and a ton of money. And you might be thinking, okay, this has got to cost a fortune, right? Well, take a look. The first thing that jumps out is that super generous free plan. You get 200 credits every single month, which is plenty to really kick the tires and build some cool stuff. And after that, the paid plans are really affordable, scaling up in a way that makes sense for everyone from solo devs to big teams.
All right, the price is right, but I know you've still got some questions about what it can really do. So let's run through a quick-fire Q&A, and let's start with the big one. Is this just for little widgets, or can it build a whole app?
The answer is a resounding yes. It absolutely can build a complete front end. You can ask it for a single button, a complex data table, or even tell it to generate the entire file structure for a brand new Next.js project. It's built to handle the whole spectrum. Okay, good to know. Next question. If it handles the front end, what about the back end? Is it writing my server logic and connecting to my database? So this is a key distinction. v0 is a front-end specialist. It's not going to set up your database for you. But, and this is really smart, it knows how to talk to a backend. It can write all the front-end code you need to fetch data from your APIs, and it'll even give you helpful little code snippets for what your backend might need to do. Right, with generative AI being the big buzzword, this is a natural question. If it's a generative tool, can it also create, logos or photos for my site? The answer here is no, and for a really cool reason. v0 isn't an image generator like Midjourney. It's a code generator, so it does something that's actually way more useful for a developer. It takes an image as the input, like a screenshot or a Figma design, and it writes the code to perfectly replicate that design. It turns pictures into code. So, when you put all of this together, you can't help but step back and ask a much bigger question. What does a tool like v0 mean for the future? What's next for developers? Look, what's becoming crystal clear is that tools like v0 aren't about replacing developers. They're about empowering them. They automate the tedious, repetitive parts of building UIs so that humans can focus on the hard stuff, the complex logic, the system architecture, the truly creative problem solving. AI is just becoming another essential tool in the toolbox, like a compiler or a code editor.
And that just leaves us with one final massive question to chew on. For so long, so much of our creative energy has been poured into just building the visual layer of the internet. So if AI gets better and better at handling that for us, what new frontiers will we be able to explore? If AI builds the interface, what amazing things will human creativity build next?